Okay, so today we're here in Mammoth Lakes, and I have one of my best friends in my whole life, Steve Smith. He's a retired police officer. He's been divorced 5 times, married, has one of the best marriages I've ever seen. So he's got some of the best advice for all aspects of life. And I wanted to bring him on to pick his brain, see what created this man, because he has some of the best morals, some of the best ideas and the best ways of treating women, treating other people and humans I've ever seen in my life. Thank you for being here. I love you, brother.
Hey, I
Thank you.
love you too. Thank you, Jerry.
Oh,
I
thank you.
appreciate you having me on, and I hope my story helps some people with all the screw ups I've done in my whole life.
See, that's why I love you, because you're so honest and open about everything. You don't feel bad. You're not
Ah,
you're not secretive about anything. You're open, and that's what made you like that. Were you always like that?
yeah, basically, I just, hey, shit happens. If you sit there and cry about it, it's not going to do you any good,
100%.
you know? Yeah, just move on. But
Okay.
I made a lot of mistakes and just picked myself up and moved on.
Okay. How was your, like, can we get into your childhood?
Sure.
I'd like to start from there to see what built this up.
Sure.
How was it? Were your parents together?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually think that maybe that's what made me who I am today. My parents were married the whole time. They never got in a fight
Ever.
in front of me.
Okay.
Behind closed doors, maybe they did. But to me, it was a perfect marriage. And that kind of screwed me up because when I did get married and I got in an argument, I thought, well, this isn't right.
Yeah.
We're not. We're going to have to get a divorce because we're arguing,
That's an extreme. That's an extreme. Oh,
Yeah, so my parents were both religious. They were Southern Baptists, and that's I believe in Jesus and thank Him for my life today. But it was a little bit too strict for me,
yeah.
and
You guys
so
would go to church every Sunday?
every 2 times on Sunday and every Wednesday, and then I was put in vacation Bible school during the summer.
Yeah.
So it was pushed down my throat, and I know my parents were trying to do good, but it actually kind of screwed me up because it was no fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a great childhood when I was little. When I got 15, I kind of went sideways, and then at 17, I said, I'm out of here. My dad, this is the best thing he ever told me. He says, you walk out that door, don't bother coming back.
Well, why? What led up to that?
He was too strict. He would do things like I would go get a haircut, and he would call the barber. Because when I go in there, I go, okay, I want the surfer cut, and I want it kind of long on the ears. And he would call the barber and say, give him a butch. And I'd go in there, and he'd just start shaving me. He's really strict like that.
Shit.
He didn't want me having long hair.
But everything was good between your parents, but you started noticing they were too strict. You felt like they were too strict at, like, what age?
Exactly. Well, probably about 14, 15, but I wasn't old enough to do anything about it. So, when I was about 15 and a half, 16, I was sitting at the kitchen table. I made a smart remark to my mom, and my dad just backhanded me, knocked me clean over backwards. That's kind of the start. I'm thinking, okay, I ain't big enough to whoop your ass now, but you watch.
Oh, okay. So you already had that in mind.
Oh, I did. I said, when I grow up, I'm going to kick your ass. But anyway, so finally 17, I said, I'm out of here. And I actually had a good job working in a warehouse,
Where'd you go when you left?
a sea container, the streets.
You were sleeping in a sea container in the streets?
Yeah, it wasn't actually a street. So I worked at a warehouse.
Yeah.
I was actually the warehouse manager, and we had sea containers that we would lease out
Yeah.
from that trucking yard. And so I just picked one out. I didn't have anything. I didn't have any money saved up, so I couldn't go get an apartment. So the truckers, they would pull in, they would have to swing their doors open and then back up to the dock. So when they got back in the truck and they got about that far from the dock, I'd jump in there and steal a bunch of furniture blankets. And that was my furniture in my sea container.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was quite a deal. And then And then I got a little bit more money, and I moved to a motel on Skid Row. There was drug dealing, hookers. I never got into that. I was forced to live there.
What what do you think made you not get into that? Because a lot of people do fall into that, especially when they're around that. It
Well,
just looks like something easy to just escape the bullshit. You know what I mean?
yeah, I chose to drink.
Okay.
Yeah, I stayed away from drugs, except when I did get into driving truck. I started taking cross tops, bennies, to stay awake.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I never got hooked on them. I just did it so I could work hard.
So did you have like a plan? Like, I'm gonna stay in this place right here, but I'm gonna get out though.
Oh yeah, I started saving my money. I saved enough to finally start paying for a motel room, a cheap motel room.
Yeah.
I think it was $5 a night.
Oh shit.
It was cheaper than Motel 6.
Damn. Well, that must have been nice.
Oh, it was. I mean, there was shootings going on out there, drug deals. I'd look out the window and see these hookers, Johns coming in there.
That was in L.A.
That was in Fresno,
Fresno,
okay. California. So I finally saved enough money and I got me an apartment.
Yeah.
And I was doing pretty good. I had a nice car, apartment. I met this beautiful, beautiful Mexican lady, and she was 4 years older than me. I was still 17. I had to go back to my mom and ask her if she'd sign the papers so I could get married.
Yeah.
And of course, she was against it. My parents, they believe you don't marry out of your race and you don't marry out of your religion. So she's a Catholic Mexican. So that really pissed them off. But anyway, we got married, had a kid right away. And the company that owned the containers invited me to come for an interview in San Francisco. And they hired me. I was the Northern California operations manager for this leasing company, living in San Francisco, and I was doing really well. They paid me good. By that time, I had a kid. And
Now, did you graduate high school?
I did. I did graduate, yeah.
Okay.
Barely.
And when you were in school, did you get in trouble, or how was school?
Yeah,
for
I
you?
got in trouble. They had to put me in trade school. I should have went over that, yeah. My dad was an electrical engineer. He wanted me to be an electrician, following his footsteps.
Yeah.
And so they had a trade school that taught basic electricity. And I would go there for half a day. And then I'd go to other classes. I think it was PE, history, and English, the other half of the day.
Yeah.
So I'd get out of the trade school, go to the parking lot. We drank beer in the parking lot. And then I'd go to physical education. My report card I was on the dean's list. I got a good grade because the first class I got an A in, that was 3 A's.
Yeah.
Physical education, 4th A, and then D and D minus.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, where was I going with that?
So you were getting in trouble at school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
why
we-
they put me in the trade school.
And one more question before we get back to where you met the Mexican. Were you, when you were in school, and you said your dad hit you? Did he beat you all the time, or was that just that one incident where he smacked
hell
you?
no! My mom and dad both beat me with belts.
For what?
Sometimes they'd forget and hit me with the buckle side.
Did they have were you doing bad shit, or was it?
Well, for example, the first cuss word I learned was shit. Okay,
You were 5. How old were you?
I was 5,
Yeah.
5, maybe 6. I didn't. And my parents always taught me, if you sin, like cuss or
Yeah.
drink, or there's going to be a bolt of lightning coming out of the sky, and it's going to strike you dead. So I was always afraid, to cuss. So my little buddy comes over, and I learned a cuss word. I go, what is it? He goes, come here. We go sneak out to the edge of the street. We weren't allowed in the street, so we had to leave one foot on the curb to get as far away from the house. He was really scared to tell me. He goes, shit. I said, shit. Shit. Shit's not a dirty word.
Because the lightning didn't hit you?
Lightning didn't hit
So
me.
you're like, oh, we're good
I
to
said,
go.
yeah. I said, watch me. I'll prove it. Let's go ask my mom. No. He said, don't ask your mom. I'll never forget it. I go up to the steps. There's 2 steps up, and she's way up there. I said, hey, Mom. He said shit's a dirty word. It's not a dirty word, is it? Boy, she pulled me in the house by my arm, drug me into the bedroom, took her belt, and just beat me.
Wow.
And then she made me sit there all day long. She says, "You wait till your dad gets home." There was that bolt of lightning right there.
When your dad got home?
Oh, yeah.
It got worse. He beat you again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
He beat me again.
So that was normal. Things would happen.
Yeah, every time I screwed up, I got smacked. And you know what? I don't hold it against them.
I feel like it was.
I think it helped me.
Oh, cool.
It's like you spare the rod, you spoil the child.
Yeah.
They always believe that. And, nowadays you couldn't I could throw them in jail today if they did it,
But you feel like that was a benefit for you.
I do.
Yeah.
I really do. It taught me. But, it took me till I was older to wake up and realize it.
For years, you felt like they were wrong doing
Right
that?
then, I hated them. I hated it. Yeah.
How
And my
old were you when you
sister.
realized?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, no, go ahead. Your sister what?
I was going to say my sister was one of these little, she always lied and said, "Oh no, he did it," and then I'd get in trouble. And
Oh.
she's little Miss Goody Two Shoes, and so I always had this thing. I hate to be falsely accused of
Ooh.
anything because of that. Because she would always falsely accuse me of stuff
Yeah.
and
So that
snitch
probably
on.
played into your career then, right? Being a cop?
No, actually, it didn't. That's a weird story in and of itself. How I became a cop. I never wanted to be a cop.
Okay, so back to, you met this, what was her name?
Her name was Terry,
Terry, okay.
the Mexican
Yeah, the
lady.
one you were 17
She had a
and you want to get married.
pretty face and a nice ass.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I never, looked into the heart and soul of a woman. They had to be pretty and they had to have a good figure,
Yeah.
I
That
think
was all you needed.
I really think that's why I married her. It's dumbass me. And then we have a kid, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm stuck, I guess. I hope she keeps her figure and her looks.
And what happened?
She cheated on me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we split up for a while, and then we tried to get back together, went to counseling, and I couldn't get it out of my head.
Yeah.
I just couldn't trust her.
Yeah.
And finally I said, I'm done.
Do you think people that have been cheated on, can trust someone,
It-
can get over that?
If they do, they're a better person than me. I can't. I can't. It's
I'm
happened to
with
me
you.
too many times, It's
Yeah.
yeah. And a lot of people say, well, what's wrong with you? Why is it that you have 4 wives that cheated on you? I said, well, it was my picker. I picked them wrong. I
Was it
went
wrong
for the
looking
pretty
for face
face
and
and the
ass?
nice ass,
Yeah.
and I didn't think about their heart and soul,
When did you decide? Did you decide one day, like, hey, I need to stop looking at just that and look inside?
I think when I met my wife I have right now,
Okay.
although she's very pretty,
Yeah. For sure.
I started looking past it after the 5th failure.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get into that right in a little bit with Sia. Got to talk about Sia.
Yeah.
Okay, so you married her, you got divorced, you guys had a kid, and this was before you were a cop, right?
This was way before I was a cop.
What were you
yeah.
doing at this time? How was life? How were you seeing things? How were
Okay.
things with your kid?
Okay, so we moved to San Francisco, right? I ended up not liking the city life because I've always been a country boy, lived on farm, ranches.
Cowboy.
Yeah. And I just didn't like the city life. So I just quit and said, we're moving back. But I'd saved up enough money to buy a house in Fresno. And I bought a house, and then I went to work for a Jippo trucking outfit. He was hauling tile from San Francisco to LA. And he would go, most of the time, he would go from San Francisco to Fresno, drop a set of doubles off, and then I'd take it on. It was all cash under the table, so gotta hope the government doesn't come after me now.
We'll cut that out.
Yeah. So I made, I made good cash money, and I had a house with a low payment, and that's when she cheated on me and I left. So I just boogie, and then I was kind of then I got a job at as a Teamster truck driver.
Yeah.
And man, they pay the bucks.
Yeah.
I was making really good money. And then they had deregulation. I don't know what happened, but they say deregulation. A lot of the trucking companies went out of business. So they went out of business. And it was during a time where jobs were tough, couldn't find jobs. And so my ex-wife, I had child support, but I got behind on it. I couldn't pay it because I was once again down in the dumps, living in my car, trying to make ends meet. And I was a cowboy. I shoot horses, did stuff like that.
When you were living in the car, how did you see life at that time?
Actually, it was a truck, yeah.
How'd you see things? Like,
I
did
think,
you have some hope, or like what kept you going?
Yeah, I think I drank a lot. I don't know. I just hoped something would come along,
But you had like a faith, that you had a vision that things were gonna get better.
I wish I could say that, Jerry. I'm a dumbass. I didn't really have a vision.
Yeah.
I was living day to day. I was making good cash money shoeing horses.
Yeah.
And going to rodeos and just having a good time. So I met a cowgirl.
Yeah.
Nice ass, pretty face.
Yeah.
Woo, boy, she fit them Wranglers good. But she was a piece of shit. Holy cow. I wished I'd have known it before I married her. 2 years into our marriage, she had 2 boys. And of course, I always wanted to have a family.
Yeah.
And here's my ready-made family. My other wife, she'd already taken off to Spain with my daughter.
Oh, wow.
And anyway, she came after me for child support. And I said, man, I'm trying. I'm going to back up a little bit before I got into shoeing horses.
Yeah, go ahead.
I kind of got off track there.
No, go ahead.
So we'll go back to when we first split up. I didn't have any money. I couldn't find a job. I begged her to just hold off. And one day I will find a good job and I'll pay it all back.
Yeah.
So they issued a warrant for my arrest because I was back on child support. Well, she was living in Spain. So I thought, well, I'm just going to go to court. I'm going to represent myself, and I'm going to tell them I shouldn't have to pay child support because I can't see my kid and I can't get a job. So I went to court, and boy, the judge set me straight on that. He says, I don't care if you don't see your kid, and I don't care if you don't have a job. You got to pay.
Oh.
So, God, I got a job I was looking in the paper, and there was only 2 jobs available.
Yeah.
A Santa Claus or working in a pornography shop.
Which one did you do?
Well, I got the job with Santa Claus first. So I was trying to make ends meet. Anyway, a warrant comes out for my arrest. I called her up. I said, man, you got to do something because I'm struggling here.
Yeah.
I said, just, pull that warrant, tell them I paid, do something. She goes, no, you got to pay or go to jail. I said, well, I guess I'll go to jail. She said, well, I can keep you out of jail if you want. I go, really? How? She says, sign your daughter over to my new husband. Let him adopt her. So I did. And that's the biggest mistake I ever made.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
In the moment, you felt like
there was nothing else I could do,
How old were you?
Jobs were tight. 78, 20. I was about 25. Yeah,
wow.
Jobs were really tight back then. And the only profession, I knew electricity, but I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And even the building industry was low, so I couldn't even get a little apprentice job, wiring houses. So.
But in your mind at that time, you were like,
yeah,
this is the best thing to do.
Yeah, I'm doomed, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to jail. So anyway, I did that, and I met this cowgirl. Bugs. Sorry about that.
It's all good, dude.
Anyway, I married her, crazy bitch.
The second one with 2 kids.
Yeah, so they were boys.
Yeah.
And I'm perfect. I want to have 2 boys.
Yeah.
And they were dope smoking burglars, and I tried disciplining them, and they wouldn't listen to me. And so anyway, one night I was sleeping, I had got a job at a demolition company driving truck, a semi-dump truck, and operating heavy equipment. And I was just starting to get back on my feet. And I had to go back. I had to go to work super early the next morning. So I went to bed about 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
About 9:30, 10 o'clock that night, I wake up. And I had really long hair and a beard. I wake up. She's got my hair wrapped in her fingers, laying next to me in bed, just kneeing. She was slamming my face right into her knee, and I'm all bloody. I got her out of my hair. I started getting dressed. She ran out of the room. She came back with a knife, and she came to stick me.
What the fuck?
And I bailed out a side window, went right through the screen glass and everything.
What the fuck happened?
I jumped in my truck.
Why is she doing that?
Because she didn't like what I was doing with her kids. I was trying to discipline her.
Oh, wow. And so she waited till you fell asleep?
She waited till I fell. Well, I think because she started drinking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she had a drinking problem.
But like, how were you disciplining the kids?
Oh, I would ground them, take their cell phones away, no
you weren't, like,
TV.
beating them and shit?
I never beat him except one time. I took one of them after he burglarized my neighbor's house, and I picked him up and I threw him halfway across the room.
Yeah.
And I said, next time it's going to be worse. Well, that didn't work. I bought them both motorcycles. They take the motorcycles out and go burglarize houses. Yeah.
So then you escaped her?
I got my truck, my horses.
Were you married to
my
her?
horse trailer. I was married for 2 years.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And I left. I'm driving down the road. I got this old buddy of mine. We actually shoot horses together. He's an old cowboy. His name was Corky Jones. And we've been tight ever since elementary school. It was Smith and Jones Farrier Service. And because I was working at the demolition company, I wasn't shoeing horses a lot, and I hadn't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
And it's probably 11, 12 o'clock at night. I'm driving down the highway, crying my eyes out. Tears are just rolling down my face. And I come up to the stoplight, and there's Corky Jones. And he sees me, and he comes over, he goes, "What the fuck's the matter with you?" He tells his wife, he says, "I'm going with Steve. We'll see you later." He jumped in my truck. We went to a bar, picked up a couple of chicks, had a place to sleep for the night, you know? And then I was shoeing horses and working for the demo company, and I started dating a cop.
Yeah.
Worst fucking mistake of my life. Never date a cop. Well, you
I've been with a cop, yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to date a cop. Yeah, so this is number 3. So she was telling me about this mounted posse that they had. And I thought, well, hell, I could do that.
Yeah.
I know the back country like the back of my hand because I'd ridden all over it.
What is a mounted posse?
It's you're sworn in as a reserve deputy sheriff. You don't have full peace officer powers.
Yeah.
And they use you for search and rescue. You get on your horses, you go out and search for people. And man, I really wanted to do that. Sounded like a lot of fun. And then I figured, since I know the country, I can maybe guide people. If their horse throws a shoe, I could put a shoe back on. And I knew a lot about horses. I broke horses, so I figured I could really be an asset. That's what I really wanted to do, just be a posse guy.
Yeah.
So I'm still dating this gal. I put in the application. They delay it. So I got injured, and by this time, I think I'd already married this one. I'm not sure if we were just living together or I married her. But she had a nice soft bed for me to sleep in. I wasn't used. I was sleeping in my truck and my horse trailer.
When you were out living, doing out in the street, you were living in your truck. Did you ever get arrested?
Never got arrested.
Never got arrested in your whole life?
Never got arrested my whole life.
Okay.
My buddy Corky almost got me arrested a few times, and he'd been thrown out of jail all the time. Yeah. Little short, smart-ass guy. Anyway, got off subject there. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but you're good.
So anyway,
So you kept putting in your application. They denied it.
they kept denying it. And finally, I was shoeing a horse, and it broke my foot, and I was
How'd it break your foot?
stepped on it.
Just walked by and stepped on you.
No, I was shoeing it, and he jerked out, and
That's when you're putting the horseshoe on the foot.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think it was a back foot. Yeah, it was a back foot because I was up under.
His foot broke your foot, and then
Broke my foot. So I'm in a should have been in a walker, but I was on crutches. And you got to picture this. I'm going to walk into this sheriff's station, talk to two detectives, and ask them why they won't let me be on the posse.
Yeah.
But looking back on it now, cowboy hat, hair down to here, beard, walking in on crutches. It probably wasn't a good impression, you know.
Not a good look, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, live and learn. So the detective sergeant, and it's really important to remember, his rank was detective sergeant.
Yeah.
Remember that for later in the story.
Got you?
Yeah. That's what makes me proud today.
Yeah.
So he goes, well, he says, you didn't pass your background. And I thought, well, what did I flunk? He said, that demolition company you worked for, they didn't have anything good to say about you. I said, really? Well, what they didn't know is that was like my mom, my best friend's mother and father who owned the company.
So he was making that up.
He was making it up.
So
yeah.
They never called them.
No, they called them.
But they said good things
But
about
they said
you?
good
Oh,
things
okay.
about. Yeah. So anyway, so they're really wealthy people. She hires an attorney.
Yeah.
And
you got a hold of her and told her? You said, hey.
Yeah, I said, hey, I'm sorry if I wasn't a good. She goes, what are you talking about? She said, I praised you.
Oh, wow. So he completely
flipped it.
Wow.
He didn't give any details. You know, he just said he didn't have a good, review with her.
And it was because of how you looked?
Well, that's kind of what I thought. I really didn't know why I was having such a hard time, but that story's going to come in later too.
Oh yeah, this
okay?
is good, yeah.
I won't say his name. He's a piece of shit. Anyway, if he's watching this, he knows who he is. He's probably afraid for me to go to the next chapter.
Let's get on to that. That's good. That gets good, huh?
Oh, yeah. So anyway, I go back in there. The attorney's already got a hold of him. I said, okay, we've already determined that I passed my background. Why can't I join the posse? This detective sergeant looks at me and he says, let me just be honest with you, Steve. You're not cop material. I said, I don't want to be a cop. I just want to join the posse. I enjoy my life, cowboying, married to a cop. So let's see, what happened then? Oh, yeah, when he said that, I hobbled out of there on my crutches, drove straight to the police academy, signed up, went to the police academy, cut my hair, cleaned all up, went to the police academy.
Oh, back then you could just sign up and then they'll let you right in?
Well, they kind of do a mini background on you, not as in depth as they do being a cop, but they did a little mini background.
You went over there looking like how you were looking?
No, I shaved. Oh no, I went in looking like I was looking.
Yeah.
But when I went into the academy, they had rules.
Okay.
You had to have short hair. So I go. Let's see. I got sidetracked there.
What year was that? The first year you became a cop?
I became a cop in '80, so that would have been '79, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you
70.
went to the academy, you got shaved up, good to go, got out.
Came out third in my class.
Nice.
I go back to Madera, and now I'm applying to be a cop.
Yeah.
Right. So I put my application in. Another delay. So in the meantime, I put a couple of feelers out. I got a job at the jail. So in Madera, the jail at that time was separate from the sheriff's department. In most counties, the sheriff runs the jail.
Yeah.
And when you become a deputy, you go to the jail. But back then, it was split. So I got a job at the jail and worked there for a while. And then Chowchilla Police Department got a hold of me and said, "Hey, we'll hire you right now." I said, "Okay, cool." So I called Madera up. "Where am I on the list?" "Well, I think I was number 7 on the list." So, okay. So I went to work for Chowchilla PD. My name comes up. They start doing a background I'd already passed my background. I mean, flying colors right through Chowchilla PD. So I get a hold of Madera. I turn in my background packet. They start doing my background. And then they said, "We can't hire you because of nepotism."
What's nepotism?
It's where your relative or spouse supervises you. So she at this time had made sergeant.
Okay.
And so she would have had to supervise me.
Yeah.
But I said, "Well, why don't you put me down in the valley or put me on another shift?"
She's supervising you at home?
Oh, hell yeah. All my wives did that. Yeah.
All right, so
Okay, so
so they wouldn't let you in there for nepotism.
so I sued them.
You sued them
I sued them.
Okay.
I worked for Chowchilla PD for a
because
couple.
is that a law or they just made that up?
It is a law,
Yeah.
but there's also a law that says you can't discriminate against people because of race, creed, color, religion, or marital status.
Yeah.
And that's where I got them.
Oh wow.
They discriminated against me because I was married.
Oh wow.
Yeah, to one of theirs. But all this is going to come together later,
Yeah.
and you're going to know why they wouldn't hire me.
Yeah.
So I continued working at Chowchilla PD. I think I did almost 2 years there, and then finally I won the lawsuit. They had to hire me with not back pay, but they had to give me my seniority. So all those guys, those 7 guys or 6 guys ahead of me, I moved ahead of them even.
Oh yeah.
I got all my seniority back. So I started working there. I remember, I'll never forget that same detective sergeant was in patrol now, and he was my first sergeant. And I walked in there. He threw me a set of keys. He says, "You got beat 5." See, that's unheard of. You have to go through a field training program, They got to teach you. So anyway, I go into town and I get in a hot pursuit. And I guess he's shitting his pants. He tells me later. He got this rookie out there for the first day, and he's in a pursuit in the middle of town.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's see what happened then. So I did
Did
pretty.
you catch the guy that you were chasing?
Oh hell yeah! I always caught him. Believe it or not, I could actually run and catch him.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Back in the younger days, the good old days, I wasn't in as good a shape as you, but I can hold my own.
I bet.
And I had a lot of experience in fighting, so because I was always getting in trouble at school.
You were always starting the fights, or they were starting them with you?
Oh no, somebody look at me crooked, I'd fight them. What are you looking at, motherfucker? That was before I was a cop.
When you were a cop, did you have that issue?
No.
Because there are cops that do that.
Oh, I know.
Cops that do that.
Shit.
If you just stare at them, they'll take that.
Oh,
they'll use their power with a badge. You didn't do that shit?
Trust me, I was a straight and arrow cop.
Yeah.
I didn't pull any shit. And my deal was I wanted to go after the real bad guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to write you a ticket for speeding or running a stop
Ruin
sign.
someone's fucking day over some bullshit.
Yeah. And I would
actually put away real criminals.
Yeah, I would use that though.
Yeah.
If you ran a stop sign and I looked at you and I thought you might be up to no good,
If you pulled me over, what would you think?
I think you were a fucking gangbanger drug dealer.
What if I said, no, I can't give you consent to check my car?
Well, I was pretty good at getting consent. I would get my probable cause.
Yeah.
I would stop them for a minor traffic violation. But I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in the dope or the guns or
Just people doing bad things.
I
Yeah.
wanted the bad guys. I didn't want chicken shit stuff.
Now, were you right most of the time?
uh,
Did you misjudge some people?
I gotta say I missed it a couple of times.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
more,
But more,
yes.
I can't explain it. I would be driving down the highway, all these cars going by, oh, and it's just a feeling or something. I go, okay, there's a bad guy.
But it wasn't because of the race or anything.
Oh, hell no, hell
'Cause
no.
when you first started school, you were telling me that was when they first started to. First, it was segregated Mexican schools, black schools, and white schools.
Yeah,
And when you started, it integrated all three.
my first year of high school was the first year that they started busing people to different
That
schools.
was the first time in history.
I believe so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
how,
because-
how was things like that? Were people tripping? Were people freaking out?
You know, yeah,
people were cool.
especially me because, you know, I grew up around white people my whole life. You know,
So you didn't know what to expect?
huh?
What'd you think? You didn't know what to expect?
No, I didn't know these people. I remember the first time I was so sheltered as a kid.
Yeah.
I was probably 6 or 7 years old when I saw my first black kid,
Yeah.
and I go, "Mom, what's that?" I mean, that's how sheltered I was.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then we get segregated. That's the first time that I had actually been around Mexicans and blacks.
Yeah.
And I think I eventually learned to get along with them. They're just like me.
Well, see, I've been around you long enough now to know that you don't have any racism in you at all.
No.
So, did you like? At first, it was weird because it was something different, right?
It was awkward.
It's always weird when it's something different.
I-
But then, did you start thinking like, "Oh, we're all the same"?
oh, yeah. I mean, at first, I had to kind of get a feel and listen to them and, you know,
Yeah.
hang around them a little bit. And then,
Yeah.
hey, these guys are cool. They're
And then
all cool.
y'all got along good.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we had our little gang in the parking lot in high school where I had this buddy that worked at a supermarket, and he had a Bonneville in the trunk. He had fixed up as an ice chest, and he had access to beer. So he would go before school, he would go ice up his chest, throw it full of beer, and then at noon, we would all sit out there and drink beer. I was, you know, hanging with the
All black,
Mexicans,
white
the blacks.
Mexicans. Oh, cool.
Yeah, we just all sitting there drinking beer, having a good, like, big family, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I like to joke.
Yeah.
I like telling race jokes.
Yeah.
I think they're funny.
Yeah.
And I tell them on white people too.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
ditch bank Okies. You know, I tell jokes.
100%. Yeah.
So some people may think I'm racist, but I don't have a race. I dated black women. I married a Mexican. I married an Asian.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know
So-
that you're like so. I
Yeah.
love it. I love how you are like that. You know. Okay, so
Okay.
Back-
Well,
back to where we jumped off a little bit. Perfectly fine. Back to when you became a cop. That guy didn't want you to be a cop. You just got done chasing someone down as a rookie, and then what happened from there? You're
I-
still married to the third.
I actually had a hard time promoting because him and his buddies were like my bosses.
This is the same guy that told you
Same-
that your
same
ex boss was talking shit and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did. I mean, I scored good on tests, and they had no choice. So
Yeah.
I made narcotics. I got on the narcotics team, grew my hair back out,
Yeah.
grew my beard, and started buying drugs on the street. That was fun.
You were undercover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
was that?
It was fun.
What was the craziest interaction you ever had while you were undercover?
Sitting down on C Street, which is the cocaine capital of the valley.
Yeah.
This is in Madera.
Yeah.
I got a CI out there trying to buy dope. I'm in the
What's
passenger,
the CI?
confidential informant.
Okay.
I had busted him and I rolled him.
Uh-huh.
He was a little snitch,
Yeah.
little rat.
You didn't like rats?
I didn't like rat,
Uh,
but they helped me rest. I said, well, you want
Yeah.
to be a dumb shit? Go ahead.
I mean, so you being a cop, a lot of cops are cool with people being rats, right? But you were one of those cops that you didn't, because
oh,
what made you like that?
I don't know. I just rats are rats, man. They're
I
rodents.
love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't snitch on nobody.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. That's rule number one.
But that's how we arrest most people.
Yeah.
They can't keep
By
their
rats.
fucking mouth shut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rats. And what percentage of people would you say that are in jail or is because of a rat?
Probably large.
Probably like 90%?
I don't think I can remember. I remember one guy I tried to roll, hardcore felon. I think he was a 3-striker. He was going down. And I said, hey, you could do yourself a favor, help me out. He said, I ain't no fucking rat. And he went to prison.
Wow.
I respect that guy.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And he did life? He ended up doing life?
No, he probably did a few years.
Okay, wow. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. Too many rats out there, man.
Yeah. So I was sitting there in a patrol car with my long hair and beard. We're in an unmarked car.
Yeah.
I'm in the passenger seat. I got a driver because I'm operating all the equipment. I got the ear, I'm listening to what the CI is doing. I'm trying to pay attention. And then I'm talking.
He had a wire?
Yeah, he had a wire.
Okay.
And so I was listening to that. Actually, it was a she.
Oh, it was a girl. A
Yeah.
girl rat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they can buy drugs, man.
Yeah.
Even from people who aren't drug dealers.
So no, I'll get you some. Don't worry.
Anyway, I'm on the radio talking to my other backup units because we're going to swarm. As soon as the buy goes down, we're going to swarm in and arrest this guy. So I'm really intense. I'm listening and I'm talking and knocks on the window. I go, go away, go away. I got the radio right here in my hand. I got the earphone in, talking. Guy keeps saying, what the fuck you want? He said, Coca, Coca. I called one of my backup units. He goes over there, starts searching the guy, and ended up having cocaine for sale on him. He went to prison.
Oh, fuck.
But that was funny. But then we couldn't, for some reason, we couldn't bust that guy there. So she got in his car, which is a no-no.
Yeah.
And we had to follow him. That's stressful because I'm responsible for that snitch. And anyway, we ended up getting the guy and busted him. That was a good one. I mean, you can sit here all day and all day tomorrow, and I can tell you stories.
What was the saddest thing you saw while you were a cop?
Oh man, you're gonna make me cry. So we were deputy coroners.
Yeah.
So we would go. They call it pronouncing death.
Yeah.
So we say, okay, you're dead. No time, date, take a report.
Yeah.
But we also had to notify the family, and we never did it by phone. We did it in person. I'm already choking up on this one. So Sunday morning, this guy gets in a head-on collision on his way to work, kills him dead. So I go take the report, and then I go to make notification to his wife. Wife answers the door. I said, are you Miss So-and-so? She goes, yes. And she's got 2 little kids standing right there.
Oh.
I mean, like this. Cutest little kids. And that was her dad, right?
Yeah.
And I said, man, I'm sorry to tell you, but why don't you have your kids go play? You got something to say to me, you can say it right in front of my kids. I said,
You had no idea that you were going to say that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm sorry to say your husband got in an accident this morning. He didn't make it.
Oh, wow.
And those kids, those kids looked up at her and said, who's going to take me to school now, Mommy? Oh. That hurt.
Oh,
that
man.
hurt. So anyway, talk about bad guys.
Yeah.
Oh, another one.
Yeah.
Oh, this one won't make me cry.
Yeah.
Scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Another head-on collision on the highway. I happened to be right there when it happened. Boom, bah. I go running up to the car, and the inside of the car explodes in flames.
Oh, shit.
And the lady's looking at me, just screaming.
She's inside?
She's inside.
Oh, shit.
She couldn't get out, and I couldn't get in.
Oh,
I sat there and watched her burn to death.
oh. You couldn't break the window?
No, it's too hot.
Fuck.
It was too hot.
What about, I remember you told me one time about a guy that you caught, you found him in his truck and he committed suicide
I had several like that. I had one where it took a 44 mag.
and he had his kids with him?
His son was with him, older son. They were camping
Yeah.
right over the hill here.
Oh, wow.
And he took a 44 mag and did this.
Yeah.
It's weird how it did. It just took his whole face off, and everything back there was just hollow.
Wow.
Yeah. It was
What,
weird.
what about, I remember one time you were talking about that there was a guy that he had 2 kids with him, or I think it was 2 kids, and that he killed them and then killed himself?
No, there was one where there was 3 kids, and the husband gut shot the wife with a shotgun
Yeah.
in front of those 3 kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't remember that other one, but it'll come to me later, maybe.
Yeah, I remember one time you told me that you found a guy in a truck and he killed each of his kids and then killed himself.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Maybe I pushed it out of my head.
Yeah. Oh, so have you shot anybody?
I got one shootout. I mean, I got shot at a lot. I got knives thrown at me, knives pulled on me. But this one day, we got a call of a domestic. So me and my partner get there, and the lady says he's got a gun and he's sitting in his car. So we start triangulating the car, but there's a cyclone fence between us and the car. And you could see him in there. He's just sitting there with a gun. You can see the gun. He's just sitting there. And we're both looking. I can't see my partner, but I know where he's at. And I'm over here behind a tree. And he just sticks a gun out and starts shooting at the air. Well, that's no big deal. As long as he ain't pointing it at me or my partner. So then he pulls the gun in, and I don't know if he reloaded or what, but this whole time, we're yelling commands at him, get your hands, drop the gun. And I had a laser, I was bouncing the laser off his body, hoping that would scare him. This is where you're going to get shot. And, at one time he says, turn that fucking laser off. And so okay, it's irritating. I'll keep bouncing it on him then,
Yeah.
So all of a sudden he comes up and points that gun right at my partner through the windshield.
Yeah.
So he was going to shoot through the windshield and shoot my partner. So I came out from behind the tree. He's focused over there. Boom, one shot right here. It goes through the windshield, hits him in the forehead. Because it hit the windshield, it kind of deflected the bullet. So when it hit him,
up curve on it.
yeah. So when it hit him, it went up all the way back and lodged in the back of his head.
It stayed inside and went all
Stayed
the way
inside.
around
It's
the bullet, and then
Yeah.
whoa.
It's probably still there to this day. Because
And then what happened?
they said they didn't want to
Did
operate.
that kill him?
I wish. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to get shot,
Didn't kill him?
No, he goes down.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a good hit. We're just kind of waiting to see,
You saw it hit him in the head?
I saw
So
it.
you thought he was done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I figured he's done.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to walk up there.
Yeah.
And man, it's a good thing I didn't. He comes back up, blood all over his face with that gun.
Oh.
Boom. Right in the chest.
You hit him in the chest.
And it missed his heart.
So he's
And
good.
He lived.
Oh.
He lived. And that's the
That's
hardest
a strong motherfucker right there.
hardest part, man. Yeah.
Wow. Have you ever seen him again?
No. Hope not. He might try shooting me again.
All right, so back to where you're with your lady. She's the cop. Everything's going good, but the guy's still an asshole. And
Yeah.
So what happens from there?
Okay, so I get a call one night about midnight. Says, "Hey, your wife just got in a shooting. You better go over there."
Yeah.
So I go over there. This fucking Indian, about 7 feet tall, she's fighting him
Yeah.
in the street. in a little town in the middle of the night. Her backup is 30 minutes away. So she fights him. She loses her stick. She loses her mace. She loses her radio. He's got her down on the ground, straddling her, like my wife did to me and the other wife. He
Yeah.
had her around the hair like that, and he's beating her head on one of those stops that you park against.
Yeah. That's what was happening when you pulled up?
No. The guy was dead when I pulled up.
Oh, shit.
No, but what happened, back then we carried a Smith & Wesson 6-inch, 357 K-frame.
Yeah.
So they're big guns.
Yeah.
So while he's beating her head, she was able to get that gun, and because it had a nice grip on the barrel, she just grabbed that barrel and turned it up and shot him. Got him right in the heart, dead.
Oh, so she was a survivor. She was strong.
Well, at that moment she was, but she turned into... anyway, that fucked her up.
Okay.
And
Mentally.
I don't know why.
Mentally fucked her up or how?
Mentally, yeah.
Okay.
But after all, I found out she was already mentally fucked up.
Yeah.
So we started going to counseling. She wouldn't be intimate with me.
Yeah.
We go to counseling once a week for a year. And the whole time that she wasn't intimate with me, the shrink is trying to find out why.
Yeah.
And she would just cry.
And she wasn't intimate with you, but did you cheat on her? You never cheated on her?
I'd never cheated on her. The whole time that she cut me off, I was hornier than hell. I wasn't one of them pretty nice ass girls, but hell no, I'm married. You don't do that when you're married.
Yeah. But you still stayed faithful.
I stayed faithful.
Yeah.
Dumbass I was.
Yeah.
Because right towards the end of the year, she's still out of work. We go in there, and the shrink says, okay, we got to get to the bottom of this. And she's crying because she knows it's coming. She goes, so you don't want to be intimate with your husband? No, I know. What about other men? Yes!
Oh, fuck!
Get the fuck out of here. Another divorce.
So she was fucking other guys this whole time.
Apparently.
Wow.
And then when I found out in this session, the same session,
Yeah.
you remember that detective sergeant?
The one that
Didn't
made
like
up all
me?
the bullshit, didn't like you.
Yeah. He was fucking her when I met her.
So that's
So
why he
she
didn't like
cut him off, and so he wants to get back at me. That fucker's married.
Oh, wow.
And you know what advice he gave me?
What?
He says, keep your weapon in your holster and your gun in your pants, and you'll do fine.
And he's fucking your
And
wife?
he's fucking my wife. Well, that was before we got together.
But he was married fucking her.
He was married and he was fucking. It was his girlfriend.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
So now the story comes together. Now I know
Wow.
why he didn't want to hire me, because he got cut off.
Wow. And you were the one that.
And I was the one. Yeah.
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 Oh, shit.
So anyway, there's another one, bites the dust.
That's 3 down.
That's 3.
So now you're back doing it. You're patrolling. Did you have any hate towards her?
A lot of hate, because I found out a whole lot. Her whole family was incestuous. The dad was screwing her. The brother was screwing her.
That's why she was like that. Probably must have affected her for sure. Yeah.
Probably.
Wow.
Probably.
Oh God. Sick motherfucker.
There was a CHP up there that broke into her house while she was single and fucking raped her. A highway patrol.
Wow.
And she wouldn't turn him in.
How old
I don't
was she?
want to ruin his career.
How old was she?
Oh, shoot. I don't know.
She was
See, she
younger,
was like 8 years younger than me. So
When the guy raped her.
25,
Oh,
28, maybe. Yeah.
So did it take you a while to get over that?
Say what?
Did it take you a while to get over that?
Actually,
Did you forgive
no,
her?
because I'm a dumbass, Oh, I never forgave her. Hell no. I was a
Not
dumbass.
till this day.
I started going, no, hell no.
Okay.
You don't cheat on your spouse.
Yeah.
It's just you just don't.
Yeah.
If you want to cheat, get a divorce and then go cheat.
Yeah, for sure. But so do you feel? But you don't think about it though, right?
I don't think about it.
That's what I'm saying.
All this shit I've seen, Jerry, I've seen some shit.
Yeah.
Just like your dad in Vietnam.
Yeah.
I've seen some shit.
Yeah.
But I don't think about it.
Yeah.
You know what? I handled it at the time and just move on.
Okay, cool.
I don't believe in post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
If you can't handle it, you couldn't handle it, and you shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Maybe some vets are going to hate me for that, but
shit, a lot of us are with you on that one.
yeah.
You know?
So anyway, I started chasing nice asses again.
Yeah.
And there was a little cadet in the police academy. She's 13 years younger than me. And she came on a ride-along. And after the ride-along, I said, hey, you want to go get a beer? She goes, sure. I live by myself in a big house because that other wife, she had taken my kid and moved.
Yeah.
And so we go get a beer. We get drunk. I mean, shit-faced. Driving home, lights and siren behind me. Oh, fuck. I'm going to go to jail.
Yeah.
But it was a buddy of mine.
Oh, fuck.
He comes up there and he goes, I didn't see you.
I didn't see you. You didn't see me.
And he left. So she was too drunk to drive home. You know, I can't let her drive home.
Yeah.
So she comes and spends the night. I put her in a bed downstairs. I was trying to be a gentleman. I mean, I didn't even think I had a chance with her. She was beautiful, drop dead gorgeous, 13 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And so I go upstairs and go to bed. The next morning I wake up. She's standing in front of my bed naked.
Oh, shit.
And it was over from there.
Then you got married to her.
Got married to her. Yeah.
How long for?
I was married to her for 13 years.
And then what happened?
Okay, she comes home one day. I kind of sensed something was going on. So back then where I lived, there's no cell phones.
Yeah.
Only landline. And I had experienced tapping phones, you know, my narcotics days. And I noticed she had been acting weird. So all of a sudden she comes home one day and she says, I need to talk to you. Yep. She says, I don't love you anymore. I want a divorce. And I said, who you fucking? Oh, nobody. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. So I said, okay, well, let's try to work on it. Let's go to counseling. You know, we had 13 years. That's the longest I'd ever been married. 13 years. So I tapped the phone, caught her talking to her boyfriend who was married and
How do you tap a phone?
Oh, you put a recording device on it. So anytime the receiver's picked up, it starts recording. And when it's set back down, it stops.
Can any normal person do that?
Yeah. Well, it's not legal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's legal in my house, but
yeah.
like you couldn't go break into a house and set it up and leave. You know.
But anybody could just go tap their own phone.
Their own phone,
Okay,
yeah. Yeah, so I caught her talking to her boyfriend who was married with 3 kids. I said, okay, what's this? Oh, I'm sorry. Da, 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 da. And dumbass me, after being through it so many times, I said, let's go to counseling. We can work it out.
You didn't feel like you didn't from the first
I
one,
didn't.
You didn't realize, couldn't get over that one.
I told you I'm a dumb motherfucker, okay?
Fuck?
I loved her. I truly loved that woman.
Yeah.
And I told you she was a cop, right?
Yeah. She was a cadet.
She was a cadet. She ended up getting hired. She's actually on the SWAT team of another agency while I was on the SWAT team where I was at.
Okay, yeah.
So we didn't it wasn't like a normal relationship where you come home and have dinner with your wife. I'd be coming home, she'd be going to work, you know, vice versa. But anyway, so I started drinking heavy again. I called that guy's wife up and I said, hey, your husband's fucking my wife. Oh, no, my husband would never do that. They're just friends. I said, no, you dumb bitch. They're fucking. I know it. She didn't believe it. So she said, my wife says, I'm not going to counseling. I said, okay, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
So I got my little throwaway gun. I go sneako a camo out, drunk. I go sneaking over there. I thought I had it all planned, right? Because they can't trace the gun. I'm sitting in his freaking bushes outside his driveway waiting for him to come home. And I started thinking, I'm the first person they're going to look at.
Most likely,
So I got
yes.
my bottle and my gun. I got my car and drove home and got drunker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't kill him.
I didn't kill him.
Good.
Boy, I was going to.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't because
And that was it from there. Then you just
well
left that one?
So she apparently the wife found out, and so they split up. She marries a professional baseball player.
But you just left. You went on with your life.
I kicked her out.
Okay, and then you just went on with your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, right there, the housing market was really high.
Yeah.
And so I got a loan. I paid her $100,000 cash. And I owned the house outright.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought, okay, I'm not losing everything. I struggled bad, but I'm not losing everything. And let's see.
So then from there.
Yeah, so she married another guy. She
Yeah.
married her best friend's husband, but she had died. Her best friend had died of cancer.
Yeah.
And so she married her best friend's husband.
And then you were back patrolling.
Yeah,
Back being a cop, single again.
focused on my career.
Okay.
Focused on my career.
You weren't looking for no ass.
Actually, I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't.
And then what happened?
I just figured, you know what? I got a nice house, a ranch. I had an 11-acre ranch, beautiful ranch. I had horses.
Oh yeah.
I was packing mules to the high country on my day off, just having a great time.
How is a life like that?
What, by
Is that
yourself?
peace? Is that peaceful?
No.
Being on a ranch like that, doing all
doing
all
that
cowboy shit.
Doing that is, but I don't know why my upbringing or what. I got to have a woman to share it with.
Yeah.
Not just a friend or, I got to have a woman that we both love each other.
So when you were by yourself, you didn't feel
I felt lonely.
okay.
Yeah, but I kept trying to focus on my job. So there was a gal at work. She used to be an investigative reporter for 60 Minutes. She was our public information officer. Gift of gab. Boy, she could talk. She was really good at interviewing on TV. So one night, a bunch of us went out dancing and got same old routine. Got drunk, jumped in the back of my truck and tapped it. Then I married her.
So you just got to hit one time and you marry him. That's all you need, huh?
There was a lot between, but I don't know. Might have had something to do with my faith, my upbringing. I don't know. You already screwed him, so now you might as well marry him. I don't know.
Yeah. And what happened there?
So she was a Jew. She was Jewish,
okay.
which don't bother me.
Yeah.
I want to mention that because here's what ruined our marriage. We were married for 10 months.
Yeah.
I decided I think I'm going to retire. So I bring my retirement papers home and I show her the plans. So there's this one plan where I get a lot of money, and if I die, she gets nothing. And then there's another one where I get less money, but when I die, she gets half.
Yeah.
There's a third plan where you get shit, and when you die, she gets it all.
Yeah. She wanted that one?
How'd you know? I was going to give her the middle one, which a lot of guys wouldn't have done. I know guys that didn't do that.
Yeah,
but
most
hey,
people are going to do the first.
I want to make sure she's taken care of if something happens to me.
Yeah. So that's what. So with that, she said,
guess what?
What?
I said, no. I'm going for the middle one. That's the one I'm going to get.
Yeah.
I come home about 4 or 5 days later. The house is cleaned out. She's gone.
Did you already pick the middle one, or were you able to get the first one?
I was gonna pick that. I wasn't gonna retire just yet. But
okay.
I want to discuss it with her.
So you ended up picking the first one?
No, I picked the middle one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. because I wanted her to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just up and left me. She took all my furniture. My house was empty. She had moving trucks come up there while I was at work.
Wow.
Yeah,
So that's number 5.
yeah.
And then from there, so you're working,
So I go back to work.
go back to work.
I was a lieutenant then.
Yeah.
I had quite a bit of freedom, but I did my job. I didn't slough on it. I did my job.
Did you start feeling like, man, I don't know if I'm going to ever find a great relationship? Like, what was your thought process on that?
I don't know if I was smart enough to think that way, you know?
You were just,
I was just
going
dumb.
with the flow?
Yeah, I just figure, well, I was looking,
Yeah.
you know. Anyway, I was lieutenant down in the valley, and there was a little sporting goods store, convenience store, right at the stop sign where I came from my ranch up to the stop sign. I had to stop there, and the store was right there. And a pretty little Asian lady in there who gave me free coffee. And she gave me free food, free coffee, free soda. I was kind of struggling, so it helped out. Free beer.
Yeah.
But we got to know each other.
What do you mean you were struggling?
Financially.
Oh, you weren't making good money?
I was making real good money, but I was still paying off that loan for the $100,000
okay.
extra on top of what I already had.
Okay.
And I was making a truck payment, which I ended up having to sell the truck, buy a little sadder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have a truck to pull my horses with anymore.
So what happened with her? She was giving you coffee, giving you everything free.
I found out she was going through. I'd known her for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But she was married.
From going there?
Huh?
From going to the store?
Yeah, but she was married, you know. I don't mess with married women.
Yeah.
And I go back in after my divorce, and I find out she's separated. Getting a divorce.
Yeah.
I thought, woo. So we dated a long time. We actually fell in love the right way. We went and got married. So at our wedding, we went to, this is my 6th wedding, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm done with church weddings and fancy spending all that money. So we go to Vegas, and all her kids, they're telling her, do not marry that man. Do not marry him. He's been divorced 5 times. What are you thinking?
Oh, shit.
And she saw something in me
Yeah.
that I didn't even see, probably.
Wow.
And she told her kids, I love the man. I'm going to marry him. So they were supposed to play this George Strait song when we walked in. I crossed my heart. I hope to, you know, that one. Really nice one.
Yeah.
I know her kids did this on purpose. They deny it. But we start walking in. All my exes live in Texas. Is the song while we're walking down the aisle.
You think the kids planned that?
I do. They deny it, but I think they did. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, brother.
Yeah. So I've seen you guys together. You guys are one of the happiest couples I've ever seen. It seems like everything you're doing is right. So did you figure out all the shit not to do, right?
I think I did. I think took me a long time to learn, but I think I learned how to be a better husband. Yeah. I also got closer to Jesus, and that helped me a lot. I realized that all this shit I've been through, he was up there the whole time, and I didn't even know it. He's
putting you through all that stuff because you needed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He taught me all these lessons, and I think it made me a better husband. And yeah, we have a happy marriage. This is the longest I've ever been married. It'll be 16 years next month.
Wow.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like there's any. From the outside, us seeing like hanging out with you guys looks like this is great.
It is
100% great.
She yells at me all the time, but I learned. You say, yes, dear. Make it simple, right?
Yeah.
And she's got 5 kids, all successful. I love them like my own.
Yeah.
And I think they love me like I'm their dad.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, what I've always wanted is a nice family atmosphere,
Yeah.
you know. And when we all get together, that's what it is, a big, happy family atmosphere.
Do you feel like going through all that stuff you went through in the other marriages, do you feel like it affects your marriage now at all in any bad ways?
I don't think it does in a bad way. I think it does in a good way,
Okay.
you know, because like I learned that couples do fight
Yeah.
and
But the
shit,
trust,
shit happens. As long as you got that trust, man.
you don't feel like the situations you've been through back then with them, since a bunch of them cheated on you, that it's affected the situation you're in now.
You know, you would think that I would have a trust issue.
A lot of people they
Is
call
that what you're talking about?
yeah, a lot of people have that.
Yeah, yeah. No, not one hair on my body.
Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
yeah. I don't have any. I trust her with my life.
Okay, so for you, Steve, what would you say that a man is? How do you find a real man? What do they do? Like, how do they treat their family? How do they treat people? How do they walk through life?
There's a real man right there.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you define a man?
How a woman can?
No,
I don't
how
want
do
to
you-
find no man.
No, how do you define a man?
Oh,
what
define.
is a man? Yeah.
I thought you said, how do you find a man? I'm like, I don't want to find no man.
I'd ask Peter on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody that's honest, trustworthy, strong, has good morals, works hard, and does things for his family
Love it.
with no selfishness. You know, got to take care of your family.
And what do you think your purpose is here
On
alive?
Earth?
Yeah.
On Earth? I don't know. I'm just having a good time, man. I'm happy. I'm very, very blessed. I've been through a lot of shit, and most people would have issues.
Yeah.
And I just forget the past, learn from my mistakes.
Do you have any regrets?
Oh, I got a lot of regrets. I wished I'd have met my current wife 50 years ago.
But if you would have met her back then, you probably would have been ready to handle
I
it,
might have
right?
been a piece of shit
That's
back
what I'm
then.
saying, yeah.
Yeah.
So like all the stuff you went through built you into having a better perspective on how you are with her, how you are with yourself and other people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So what would you tell, I got one last question, couple last questions.
Sure.
What would you tell your 20-year-old self? What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Fall in love with yourself first. Don't be looking. Find peace within yourself, and the right person will come along. And don't do it just for beauty,
Yeah.
nice body. Search the soul of the other person and make sure their soul is as pure as yours.
Do you feel like before you met Sia, do you feel like that's what happened is you started getting in touch with yourself more?
I believe so.
And that's why you're able to handle the situation better now?
Yeah,
Because you weren't just looking for the superficial shit you were looking for before?
Yeah. What I think helped me a lot too is I was working 4/10s.
Yeah.
So I had 3 days off.
Yeah.
So I'd go hook onto my horse trailer and go up to a pack station.
Yeah.
And I worked for them, packing mules back into the high country, all over that place. And it's just you're out there with nature and God, and you learn a lot.
Yeah.
I learned to like myself. I did. I learned to like myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it, dude.
I wish I was a little better looking, but
Okay, so somebody going through a hard time, like, because you've lived in your car, you've been in Skid Row, you've had some rough times, you left your house. Is somebody going through a real hard time right now that's kind of lost, not sure what to do? What would you tell someone like that feels like everything's just going against them? Life is just against them. What would you tell someone like that?
well, first I would tell them, don't try to kill the pain with drugs and alcohol, first of all.
Yeah.
And I think if you put a trust in God and start praying, that He will guide you. And don't be like me and just, looking all the time.
Yeah.
Just be yourself, find yourself.
And what would you say is the best way for people to take care of their soul, take care of their body? Because you're in good shape. We've been hiking, and you pretty good, man.
Used to be a lot better, but thank you.
Yeah.
Well, what's really important is diet, exercise, uh, having a close relationship with God.
What about people you have around you? How important you feel that is?
That's probably more important than what I just mentioned.
Yeah.
You can't have bad people around you because they're going to influence you.
You
They're
feel
not
like,
your friends if they're doing that too.
Do you feel like if you're on a good path, but you have a couple of friends that are on a bad path and you want to bring them with you, do you feel like they're more likely to pull you back down, or you feel like you could pull them up?
Well, it depends on how strong. Like myself, I could pull them up.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, if they don't start reacting right away, I'm done with them.
Did it take you a long time to realize that? Or were you?
Yeah, it did. A lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Love it. Anything else you got to say? Anything else?
I just appreciate. I hope my message helps people, doesn't bore people, but
How do you want people to remember you?
as a good, hardworking Christian that's only been married one time with 5 beautiful kids. Can we just forget the past?
Yeah. Well, what would you say to someone that can't get over the past?
Get over it. Don't be a pussy.
What if they just can't? I can't.
Yeah, you can. You can do anything with God.
Love it.
Start praying and you can do it.
Love it.
That's right. You got to have a positive attitude. You can't be thinking that, oh, I'm not going to do it. If you think that, you ain't going to do it.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. And what about people that are in a breakup, that their wife cheated on them? How would you tell them how to handle that situation?
Well, get the hell out. Don't do like I did and say, let's go to counseling and work it out. Don't do that.
Cut it off.
Build
yourself.
Forget it. Build on yourself. Forget about the past. Yeah. Don't be sitting around saying, oh, poor me, Just forget it.
I love it.
Move on.
I love it.
Shit happens.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
I love you.
Love you too.
This guy right here, though, I really wanted to have him on because of all that he just said, all he's been through. Because a lot of people, they'll go through relationships, they'll get cheated on, they'll end up killing themselves.
Yeah.
Or they'll end up drowning themselves in drugs. And then you ended up making a career out of your life. And the biggest thing that impacts me on you is just how you are, because you're open, you're genuine, you're authentic. And that's something that, a lot of people don't know how to just be themselves.
Yeah.
And you do that. You're just you. You don't worry about what people are thinking. You just say what you think. You say what you feel. You're open about it. And thank you. I love you and I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Man, that was good. Thank you.